Hello, friends. My name is David and my cheating wife's name is Alice. She cheated on me after 10 years of marriage. Her infidelity ruins my life. I cannot forget her infidelity if I want to. I was a very kind and loving person, but she changed me into rude person. I get too much depression when she cheated on me today. I'll share this worst incident with you guys. If you like my story, then hit like and also subscribe to the channel. I belong to a very good family and respectable family. And my wife was the daughter of my father's friend. She used to come to our house once a month and we both used to play a lot. The time spent with her in my childhood was very beautiful. We both were very good friends since childhood. And when this friendship turned into love, I don't know, I liked her as a friend. But when we grew up, I started to love her. I fell in love with her many years ago, but I was too afraid to tell her. I was indeed a shy type of person, but it was important to tell her about my feelings. I was afraid that if I proposed to her, she would reject me and thus I would lose her friendship. I also had another fear that if she started to like someone else, I would lose her forever. Before I told her my feelings, I wanted to know that what she thought about me, whether she just liked me as a friend or if she loved me too. So I asked a very close friend. I contacted her to ask from Alice about her feelings for me. She asked her what she thought of me. She'd said if ever I asked her for a relationship, so she will accept my proposal because she also likes me. I proposed to her and she happily accepted it. We got married after 2 years of our relationship. Time was going very well. She cared for me a lot. I loved her. Too many years of marriage passed. We had 2 sons and after they were born, the love between us increased even more than before. Whenever she wanted something from me, I tried my best to fulfill her every wish. I used to give many gifts to my wife on our anniversary. And she also bought many gifts for me. I still remember on our first anniversary, my wife asked me for a car as a gift for her. I had been saving for a long time because I wanted to buy a new car for myself. But with the collected money, I bought a car for her and I kept using the older car. I wanted my wife to be happy. So I sacrificed my own wishes for her happiness. For 10 years of our marriage, I gave her a very special gift on every anniversary, a gift that she wished for. She was nothing less than a blessing to me. I loved her more than anything in the world. My wife used to love me so much that if I ever talked to another woman for a few moments, she would have been jealous and would get angry with me. After 9 years of happily marriage, our happiness seemed to be finished. My wife suddenly began to doubt me that I had started loving someone else. But the reality was completely opposite. I also never thought of any other woman except my wife. Yes, all my love was my wife. My wife doubted me that I liked one of her friends and would marry her. She was doubting me because this friend of her had a crush on me before marriage. One day, her friend came to our house to meet us and she used to live in another city. But she came to this city for some days for work and she just came here to meet her friend. So I invited her to stay at our house for the sake of humanity or friendship because she is my vice friend. And that one night would become the worst night of my life. That night I was laying in my room and my wife was with my children because they were sick. So she was taking care of them and probably stayed with them all night. My wife's friend came to my room secretly before she said anything to me. My wife also came to my room. She thought that maybe I had invited her. She thought that I was cheating on her and had an affair with her friend behind her. But it was nothing like that. My wife got suspicious of me and left my house and went to her mother's house. She left me for just a small matter and for a baseless reason and stayed at her mother's house for 6 months. I tried to explain to her several times in the 6 months and wanted to clear her doubt, but she neither contacted me nor cleared her doubt. Then I contacted her same friend and told her that you should go and remove my wife's suspicion and tell her that there is nothing like that between us. Maybe she believed her friend and came back to my house. When she returned home, I felt that all the joys of my life had returned to my home. I realized that I cannot live without my wife. I thought that when she came back, everything would be like before, but nothing happened after that. The attitude of the wife had changed so much that I did not think that she is my wife, and also she did not pay special attention to our children. She also did not spend much time with me. I cannot bear the strange attitude towards me. It seemed that my wife still suspected me that I was cheating on her, and the suspicion did not remove from her heart. But if it was the case, then why did she come back home? All these questions were in my mind and I was very worried. I never suspected my wife that she was cheating on me. But one day something happened that made me cringe. And I started to hate my wife. One day I was coming home from the office when I had a small accident while crossing the road and I hit a car which did not harm me. But my phone fell from my hand and broke when I returned home. So I told my wife the whole truth, that today I had an accident, on which my wife said to me that you go to the room and dressed, I'll bring you some food. She started cooking for me in the kitchen. And I went to the room. I had to call a friend of mine, which was very important to call. So I thought I would call my friend with my wife's phone that was in the room, because I called my friend a hairy name person called my wife. And I attended the call. That person thought my wife picked up the phone. He started talking to me. After listening to his words, I became sure that my wife was cheating on me and she had an affair with another man behind my back. I believed it because this man said that, my dear, you have not to come to see me for the past 1 month. And I miss you so much that the last night we spent together is still missing. And I want to spend so many nights with you again. Hearing all this, the ground gave out from under my feet. I would have never believed the words of this person if that call had come from an unknown number. But my wife had saved this person's phone number in her phone's contact list. There was no reason to ignore this. I was well aware of my wife's habit of saving her phone call recordings. So I took out her recordings and found evidence against her. There were also recordings of that conversation which my wife had with this Harry named person. It was clear from the conversation that both of them had affairs and there is an illicit relationship between them. A week later, it was our 10th wedding anniversary. I wanted to buy all those things that make her happy because in the last 1 year, we had a very bad time and the love between us was not the same as before. I was trying my best. My wife asked me for a house where we both could spend time together. Occasionally, she proposed to me this wish on our 9th wedding anniversary, but I could not meet the demand at that time. So I now collected the money myself and had a very nice little house for her, which was not far from our present house. I decorated this house the same as her dream house. But after knowing the truth, I decided to teach her a lesson instead of giving her these gifts. But before teaching my wife a lesson, it was also important to know with whom she's cheating on me and why she's doing it all. It was not a small matter for a wife to cheat on her husband after 10 years of marriage. No, I could not believe how could she do that. What is the reason that she's cheating me so much? So I started spying on my wife to figure out the whole truth and started collecting evidence that why is she doing this? Who's the person with whom she's cheating on me? So I'm acting the same way. I used to love my wife as before and did not make it look like I knew the truth about her at all. But the truth was that I hated her so much at that time. And I had listened to all the recordings of my wife's phone in which she was talking about love with this person. Save it on my phone, 4 days had passed and I still did not know about the person with whom my wife was cheating on me. But one night when my wife and I were laying on our bed, my wife told me that she wants to go to a friend of hers in the morning because her friend is sick and she wants to visit her. I told her that yes, I should go with you to visit your friend. We will go to her house together in the morning. After hearing my words, my wife's expressions had changed and she got a little worried. I understood that my wife is lying to me. And instead of knowing the welfare of her friend, she wants to go to meet that Harry named person. So I changed the matter immediately and gave the excuse of heavy workload in the office that I will not be able to go with you because I have very important work in my office. So my wife became happy after hearing my words. Now her path is clear and she can go to meet her beloved just in the morning. I woke up as usual and went to my office. But actually I did not go to my office, but I was near my house and waited for my wife to leave. An hour after I left home, my wife got ready and left the house. I followed her. I saw that my wife met a boy in a restaurant and they kissed each other. When I saw this scene, tears would come out of my eyes and my heart would break and cry. I felt sorry for myself that I spent 10 years of my life with this woman. I love this woman who betrayed me. After 10 years of our marriage, my wife and this man had lunch and spent time together and my wife came back to her house. Now I found out that who is the person with whom my wife is cheating me. So I along with some of my friends kidnapped this man. I threatened him to kill him and told him to tell me all the truth about my wife. How long this relationship has been going on between you two and why my wife is cheating on me. This man told me that this has been going on between them for a year. I came to know that she did all this when she left me and went to her mother's house. That guy was a cold boy who came to spend the night with the woman. When she felt lonely, my wife had left me and she felt that I had cheated on her. So she could not bear my infidelity and was very depressed and feeling lonely. So she invited this boy to spend the night. They spent time with each other and had sex. But my wife started liking the boy so much after that night. My wife met this cool boy many times and they got intimate. She started liking this person so much that my love is not left in her heart anymore. Also, this person had sent a video of my wife being intimate with him, which he had made on my wife's request. All this was so difficult for me to bear, even though I could not hear his words. I started to hate my wife that she could stoop to this extent, to quench her. At last, I decided to teach my wife a lesson. The next day was our 10th wedding anniversary. I took her to the house I had bought for her. At first she was asking me, where are our children and why there is no one else here. So I told her that I want to spend some time only with you. That's why I did not invite anyone else at our 10th wedding anniversary. After that, we both had a very nice meal. And then I played a video of my wife being intimate with that person on the home LCD. My wife was shocked to see all that. Then I took out all her phone recordings from my phone that I had listened to on her phone when she found out that I had learned all the truth about her. My wife sat at my feet and started crying and started apologizing to me, but I could not forgive her even if I wanted to. I divorced her at the same time and threw her out of my house. That the most difficult step was to tell my children the truth about their mother. Then I told my children that their mother cheated on me. So for a time, my children also started hating their mother, but I explained to them that she cheated on me. But she's your mother. You should respect and love her. Today. It's been 2 years since the divorce. My children visit their mother often but they stay with me. I'm living a quiet life with my children and my wife is still single. She apologized to me many times, but I cannot forgive her.